Today we want to take a little closer look at three of the body parts that we saw and discussed about the boy with the injury. So we want to look at skin, muscle, and bone today. And what we spent some of our time doing was just checking out our own bodies. So we were looking not so much at our feet, but we could look at our calf, which is back of your leg, or your hand, or your forearm. So we mostly spent time just looking at our hand or forearm. What does it look like? What does it feel like when we're moving it? So I'm going to just put my document camera on here and kind of take a look at my hand. So if I do this, you can see parts moving here. So something's going on beneath the skin as I do that. If we show the back of my hand, you can see the skin kind of stretches when I make a fist. It kind of wrinkles up when I don't. Kind of extra skin here. Kind of see skin is soft and pliable. You can feel your bones, so you can feel there's bone in here. It's hard there. Gets a little thinner here. So you can check out your own hand. Just kind of move it around to see what it looks like. So you can take a few seconds to do that. You can pause the video, but we'll go back to the notes then. So then we looked at the next part. So if we could find out what's happening with our bones and muscles that we have in our hand and our feet, would that help us figure out what's going on with an injured foot? And we kind of talked about, if we could find something that works, like a foot that works, and compare it to a foot that's injured, if we take x-rays and we see some differences, maybe the injuries have to do with that difference. Or if there's swelling, we can kind of start seeing what's happening between those two objects, whether it's a hand or a foot or whatever. So then we want to see, since we can't look at somebody's insides here, could we do something with a comparable thing? So we kind of thought maybe we could use a chicken bone. So we had other ideas, but we kind of settled on a chicken bone. So here's a chicken bone, and it's hard to see what we're looking at. Obviously, it's a chicken wing. So it's the wing of a bird, of a chicken, but it's hard to tell what we're looking at. We don't have parts that look like this. So we're going to kind of compare it to how it's part of our body. So here is a person. There's their shoulder, their upper arm, their lower arm or forearm, and then their hand. That's comparable to the chicken wing. So this would be the shoulder of the wing where it was attached to the bird. This part here would be their upper arm. This part here is their lower arm. And then this wingtip is just all their hand bones, I guess you could say. So the big question is it similar enough that we could compare bones in our body to the bones of a chicken? So we kind of made an easy comparison. We can't use an earthworm. They don't have bones. They don't look anything like us. They don't have our structure. So it doesn't help us. But a chicken has bones, it has skin, it has muscles, and basically the arm looks the same. I don't know if the feet do, but the arm looks the same. So maybe we could use it for comparison. So what we did then is we took a look at a dissection video. So we're just going to show that here. Now normally I would just have you watch it separately, but while it's running, I'm going to kind of just point out some things as we go along. So we're going to watch that video now. So here it is. We're going to start it. So this is just a regular chicken wing, and the person in the video is just going to kind of show us different parts. There is no sound, so I'm just going to kind of talk over it. So there's your chicken wing. Again, we've got the shoulder up here, the wingtip over here, and he's just showing how it flexes like your arm would move. So it's not frozen or anything. And we can see the skin on the outside. Okay, it kind of looks like our skin a little bit. I don't know. It's soft, it's pliable, you can kind of see it stretching. So there is the other side of the wing. So you can kind of see both sides look a little differently. This side seems to be a little more tighter skin. This one seems to have thinner skin. So a couple differences, nothing major. What they're showing here now is they're going to show us these two muscles. One's up here, one's on the back side. This would be your bicep. That's on the front of your arm, and then the back of your arm is your tricep. And what he's doing here is he's trying to pull on those muscles one at a time. So he's pulling on the bottom one when he moves his thumb here. He's pulling on the top one when he moves his thumb here. So bottom, move again. So that's the top one, bottom one, top one, bottom one, top one, bottom. So you can see when he's pulling on these muscles, it actually does make the wing move. To see what's going on underneath, he's going to take the skin off. And he's not going to do the whole thing. It takes like 5 minutes, so he's going to kind of show us what's happening. One thing you want to see is that the skin is actually like attached to the body part. Like it's not just on there. If you grab your skin, it feels like it's just on the top. But it appears, if we're like chickens, it looks like the skin is going to be attached to the muscle underneath. It's not just on top of it. So we can see that it kind of stretches. It's pliable. It's soft. You know, if you grab the skin on the back of your hand, you can kind of peel it back a little bit. So here they're just showing us really sped up. It took 5 minutes to get the rest of the skin off, so they're not going to waste our time. So they're just going through that. So we're just going to wait it's a couple more seconds and we can start looking at the next part. Okay. So here is the same chicken wing with all the skin taken off. Now we're seeing muscle. So again, there's our hand part, there's our lower forearm, and then our upper arm. And what he's going to do is pull on the bicep, which is this one here, and pull on the tricep, which is the one on the bottom. And you're going to see it move a lot more easily. So pulling up on the bicep, pulling on the tricep, bicep, tricep, bicep again, bicep, bicep. And then when he wants to make it go straight, he's actually pulling on the bottom one. So he's not just letting it go, he's actually pulling on this bottom one to make it go straight. Which if you try with your arm, if you pull your arm up, like make a muscle in that way, you can feel your bicep tightening, but the tricep isn't. The tricep's on the back side of your arm. If you stretch your arm out and you really, really, really try to stretch it really straight, and you reach for your tricep in the back, you're going to notice that one's all tense, but the bicep's not. So it's actually two muscles making body parts move here for each body part. So that was a video, and we just answered these questions as we watched it. So I'm going to go back to a sheet we want to fill in your folder. So in your folder, this is page 7. I'm going to move it over here so you can see the page number. So it's page 7 right here, down at the bottom left corner. And you just want to fill this in. I've already filled it in for us. This bottom row is going to be empty. I'm not sure why we had 4 rows here. It's only needed 3. So the first one is this part of the chicken wing. So chicken skin, chicken muscle, and chicken bone is like this part of the human foot. So it's like our skin, it's like our muscle and our bones. Because the skin moves and stretches and it covers the body in both chicken and us. The muscle is like our foot because the muscles help parts to move. And the bone in chicken bone and wing and our foot is the same because bones move when muscle moves it, as we saw in that video. The last part, it's not like our foot because the skin looks a little different. It's a different color. The wing is not a foot, so maybe there's some different muscles in there. And then the bones that are in the wing are different. And I forgot to show you one thing, so I'm going to show you what happened after a while. Let me go back to one video. It's not a video, it's just a picture. So this is, they didn't dissect it all the way down to the bone, but they just wanted to show you. So here is with the skin on, skin off, and then they took all the muscle off. And then we get to see the bones here. So there is where the hand would be. That'd be the forearm, and then the upper arm for us. But this is the chicken wing. So we actually have one bone in the upper arm. We actually have 2 bones in the lower arm, just like the chicken. And then they didn't show us the bones in the wing tip here. Another thing we did then was to look at this document. You don't have to do this. This was just for comparing. So we made a poster with this one. So we have the skin. It looks stretchy. It can change shape based on what you're doing. So, skin changes shape when you do things. It's pliable. It's soft, but it is solid. And what it does is it covers the muscle and bone of the body, and it protects the insides. The muscle can stretch. It's kind of thick. It's elastic. It's kind of stretchy, or like a rubber ball. It's that type of material. It feels like that. If you want to check that out, you can kind of like grab right here and kind of grab some of the muscle right in there that moves your thumb in. You can kind of feel that muscle right there. Also, what the muscle does is it moves the body parts somehow. We don't know how yet, but it does that, which we saw in the video. And then the bone is solid and hard, and it doesn't bend or stretch. And what it does for the body is it gives it support, and it gives it structure. And structure can be two things. It could be a part of something. It's like if you're making a Lego building, the Lego building is a structure. That's how we use it as a noun. And then if we use it as a verb, we can talk about how things are structured, how they're put together. So there's two ways of using that. And also we start talking about systems, which is just smaller things working together to do a more complex job. So we're going to have those words and definitions posted in our class when you come back in. And that's where we ended today. We just wanted to look at those two charts, look at that chicken wing. It does answer some questions on what these body parts do, but the person we are studying has a broken foot, and this is not broken. So we have to figure out how we can make that comparison to what these things are and how it affects a person with a broken foot. And we'll look at that next time.